Video bites from ulearn.photography. Here's our principal, Simon Q. Walden.
Welcome to today's Video Bites, where I'm talking about how to name your photography business. And specifically, why do so many photographers use something like Joe Brown Photography as the name for their business? And I'm going to talk about some of the pros and cons of personal naming versus brand naming and so on, and give you some tips on how you might want to choose to decide on your name. Firstly, I have to say is that choosing any kind of company name is harder than almost anything else when it comes to setting up a company. I have spent probably more time on some of my businesses worrying about the company name than anything else. But anyway, I'm going to leave that in your court. So why would you use Joe Brown Photography? Why would you use your personal name? Well, let's be honest, the first thing is it might just be straightforward vanity. Actually, you just want to have your name associated with the business, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's simple, people know who you are, they know who the business is. And the follow-on from that is that it builds an instant personal connection. They're not coming to a generic business, they're coming to you. And that can be valuable while there is only you. For my portrait work, I knew right from the start that I wanted that to be a brand name, not a personal name. Now, my commercial work is done as Simon Walden, but my portrait social work is done as Film Photo. And the reason for that was that when a client is buying my commercial work, they're buying my skill, my talent, my vision, my creativity. When they're buying portrait work, it matters a lot less that it's me. And in fact, I specifically didn't want it to have to be me every time, that I could have other shooters working for me in the studio, maybe even different shooters for different kinds of shoots. For example, I work on behalf of another studio where I do their boudoir shooting, because the photographer who runs that studio is not comfortable and it's not in their skill set really. And I want that same flexibility. It also means that I've got options there of having multiple tiers of shooting categories, a bit like, often hairdressers have the hairstyling director or the artistic director or whatever, or you can have the cheap and cheerful version. It means that if somebody just needs to come in for a passport shot, it doesn't have to be me who takes the passport shot. It also allows for multiple studios, different outlets. If you've got a brand name, that brand name can roll out to different towns, different counties, whatever. It also makes sense in terms of an exit strategy for your business, something actually I think that a lot of freelancers, a lot of photographers don't really consider very much. I think many photographers assume they'll work as a photographer and then they'll retire, but they don't see that there is an inherent value in their business. They don't perceive that. And by running as a brand name, it does give you the opportunity of selling the business as a going concern. There's no doubt one of the biggest downsides is that it doesn't have the same personal connection, and that's one of the biggest balances against all those other positives that I've suggested. Just some other things just to talk about that though. Either way, you've got to make sure that your name is available as a web domain. If your domain name is not directly related to your business name, you need to think again. These days, your business name should be your web domain. And to be accurate, my social photography is done as filmphoto.co.uk. That actually is the trading name. Similar thing with the training website. ulearn.tv is the trading name. The company name is the website name, and vice versa. And then the other thing is you have to be sure it's easy to spell. There should be no confusions So if you've got I don't know, let's say you've got a Polish name or a Welsh name with a severe lack of vowels, that may not be the best name to choose. You want something that's sweet and simple and people can spell our name. And again, that's desperately crucial when it comes to the web, let alone anything else. So, personal brand, there are pros and cons to either approach. A lot of it will depend on how you see your role in that photography, both now, but as your business progresses and grows.
Subscribe now for regular tips and updates. To find out more, go to ulearn.photography.